at this beautiful view of Las Vegas. There's the strip way over there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the video. This has been a pretty highly requested video, and people want me to compare living in California versus living in Las Vegas. Shout out to JG, who has asked me multiple times to post this video, so here it is. So I am from Los Angeles. I grew up in Arcadia, which is the city east of Pasadena, and I pretty much grew up there my entire life. I'm 30 years old now, and I lived in LA until I was 26, and then I moved to Las Vegas. Now, some of the best things about living in Las Vegas is, one, there's no state income tax. That's huge. I personally enjoy the gun laws a lot more because I think I'd rather be able to protect myself than trust the police, especially nowadays with the police being defunded. And like just the other day, there was a shooting pretty close to my house. I called the cops and they didn't even show up. So had I not had all the guns that I have here, I probably wouldn't have been able to protect myself as well. Thank God nothing happened. But moving on to some other things, like in California, you pay so much in taxes. I believe it's over 40%, and I believe they're proposing something like 63%. That's just insane to me, because when you look at like where the money goes and like you're paying so much in taxes, they should fix all the problems, right? There shouldn't be homeless people all over the place, and there is. Everywhere I go in LA, there's homeless people everywhere, and it's so unfortunate because you would think that some of those tax dollars would go to fix the homeless population, give them shelters and places to go, and unfortunately they don't. And nowadays, after the pandemic, there's more people on the streets than there ever has been before, and that's something that really like breaks my heart. And I always try to give people money because I feel like I'm doing a lot better than them, and I feel like, I mean, I hope it doesn't go towards drugs. I hope they spend it towards food, but I always try to do my part and help out people. But for me, like, I never thought that I would move out of LA, because LA is kind of like the land of opportunities. I have most of the things that I have. Like, I was able to make a career as someone who goes to the skate park for like 10 years, you know? Had I grown up in Vegas, I don't know if that opportunity would have been there. I've booked tons of movie gigs, stunt jobs, like all kinds of stuff, and that was because I was in LA. Great place to be at a great time. And nowadays, I can't really say the same thing, because every time I go back there, I'm always sitting in traffic, and you know, if you're driving anytime between 3 and 7 o'clock, you're not going to be driving very fast. You're going to be sitting on a freeway, not moving. So for me, moving out of California was something I never thought that I would ever do. And even when my friends suggested, let's move to Las Vegas, it's cheaper, I was like, no way, I couldn't live in Vegas. And ever since I've moved here, I have not regretted it at all. I thoroughly enjoy living in Las Vegas so much more. And of course, for me, like as someone who owns an acrobatic company and just being a circus acrobat, Vegas is the place to be. So aside from that, if I wasn't, I think I would still enjoy being in Las Vegas much more. It's kind of like the wild, wild west. You know, we have much more open laws, and everything is much more, you're kind of freer to do a lot of things. And we're not totally shut down like California is. Every time I go to California, I feel like I'm getting put in like boot camp, or like, I don't know. But it's just like, they've just cracked down so much, and they've literally, I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like they've taken a lot of the freedoms away. And I get that COVID is a real thing, but in my opinion, I feel like we should be able to make our own choices. If you don't want to go out, then don't go out, but you shouldn't be shutting down all the businesses and stuff. Just last week, I went to, I was in San Diego performing a show at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, and we went to this restaurant. It was the only one that was open on Christmas Eve, and they were doing a protest because the government shut them down basically, and they declared their area a protest, like a peaceful protest, and they kept it open for their rights basically. And you don't see that in Las Vegas. I know there's a lot of like outdoor seating and that kind of stuff, but they didn't shut it down. In my opinion, it's kind of messed up, especially for restaurant owners, that they gave them all these like things that they had to do, like put up fiberglass windows and all these other things. They did that, and then they still shut them down. So in my opinion, I think that's a little bit messed up, because all these restaurant owners, which restaurants don't make a big profit, they're like running at like anywhere from like 10 to like 20% profit range, and that's not very much. personally, I don't think I would ever own a restaurant ever because of that now, you know? Like, I thought maybe one day I might want to open up a restaurant or something, but nowadays I'm like, hell no. Anyways, so I just think that, like, living in Vegas, for one, there's no traffic. You don't realize how much less stress you have on your mind when you don't have to go and sit in traffic. There's so much less people out here on top of that. The weather's not really much different. Sure, it gets to 120 degrees in the summer and you feel like you're in an oven. That's the worst part about living in Vegas. It also does get pretty cold here at night. California generally stays in the like 60 to 90s range all year round. And in California, you can go to the beach, you can go to the mountains. I mean, you know that. You can go snowboarding and surfing in the same day. You can't do that in Vegas, but you can go snowboarding at least, and you can go to Lake Mead and go surfing, or not surfing, but like wake surfing or something like that. So for me, like living in Las Vegas, it's just been like a I feel like I took a big weight off of my back. It's just been like very refreshing living in Vegas. I've lived in the Summerlin area. I lived there for 2.5 years, and now I live in the Silverado Ranch area, which is like the south, probably like the most south part of Vegas, near the ranch area. And like we have 1.5 acres, and we pay less. No, we pay exactly the same that I was paying for an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment in LA. So the price difference that you're saving in Vegas compared to LA, like I just feel like everything is like 20 to 25% cheaper, and you don't really like realize that when you're living in LA, like how much weight you're actually putting on your shoulders by having to pay all these taxes and like paying just 20 to 25% more for everything, for gas, for rent, for, I think rent's even more than 25% more. It's probably like 50% more. It's way more expensive in LA. And the greatest part about living in Vegas is if you ever want to go to LA, it's just a 3.5 hour drive. And personally, I've done that drive probably about like 20 times this year. I work with a UFC fighter named Tony Ferguson, and I've been driving back and forth to California to work with him so many times in the last couple months. And it's just been like, I don't know why I would ever want to move back there. Like, sure, every time I go there and I'm around the beach, I'm like, oh, this is great weather, it feels nice, but it's not the same as it used to be. And I just thoroughly enjoy living in Las Vegas. So I just wanted to put out my opinion, because I've been requested quite a few times in the comments. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the whole situation between California, and maybe if you want to move to like Las Vegas or Arizona or another state like that where it's more open. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video or you want to help out my channel, give this video a nice big like and subscribe if you guys haven't. We will see you in the next one. Peace.